Oh my God. Uh-oh. Did I hit live? I actually was putting, oh my goodness, guys. I was actually putting the phone into the cradle when it started the live. And I didn't mean to do this, but you're all going to have to take a trip with me. It's not normally how we do these lives, but hello, Catherine. Hi, Kimberly. Yeah, we're going to have a pre-party here. And didn't mean to do this, guys. Sorry. Give me a sec. I cannot believe this is happening. I was just about to put that thing in the cradle, right? And all of a sudden it popped on live. I got to make sure everything's turned off here. Last thing we want is the TV to go on. But while we're actually doing this, oh, it won't let me do it this way. I have to go landscape. I didn't mean to do it this way, but here's that piece when I leave the hallway, it gets my attention every time I'm walking down my hallway. This was not how I was planning on doing the live, but you guys might as well see some of the stuff we have in here. I think this is a 36 by 48 swipe, probably one of the bigger ones I'd ever done. Hi, Cindy. Hi, you guys. Hi, John. Hey, I didn't plan this. I came in here to make sure the TV was off, and the phone just suddenly started going live. So, yeah, and here's Harley crying at me, going, "What are you doing? Right? What are you doing?" Here's a crazy one I did here. Oh my God, this was 2017. At the time when we were still using Floetrol with silicone. See this incredible raindrop texture happens when they hit one another? That's what I was trying to show you guys in that piece I was doing. Yeah, behind me is one of my string pulls. I've got two of them. And this one, let's see if I can turn this around. Might as well see part of the hallway. In this one, I took the true silver and white and just kind of did a light scrape swipe and let it, meaning I scraped the silver all the way down to the bottom till it was dry. Then I took, hi there, Andrea. Then I actually took silicone mixed with a clear enamel, and I think there was a little bit of a white in it, like an oyster in it, and I squirted the color down in a pattern, and then I went over with a black string effect, and the silicone gave us these beautiful, cool patterns in here. So this was not my goal to sit and walk you through my room, but as I got up to go in and turn everything off, all of a sudden I realized we went live. So let's get back to the table. I guess you're kind of seeing my earring in the background, and we are going to start this party. I have some ideas for you guys today. Just got to get this little guy in the holder. Give me a second and get you locked in. We do not want this thing kicked off. I mean, how easy it ended up starting the live. Wow. Hi, Leslie. You were over there mixing paints? Very cool, you guys. Okay. So, everybody. So, now why am I not getting messages here? I need to turn on my live chat. Oh no, what happened? Go away. I want live chat. Oh, I just saw it. There's a description. Come on, give me my chat, guys. We can't do this thing without the chat. You know, technology drives me nuts. What can I say? The technology drives me nuts. I have this whole thing prepped and ready. Means I have to go back in and out. Sadly, here we go. Top live chat, and I see John and say Jasmine Kitty. So here we go. We see you guys in the back. We're rocking and rolling. Why it's not showing me what's on screen, I don't care, as long as I can see what you guys are saying, because we're going to have some giveaways. So I want to do a roll call. Let's just make sure the timing is right. John, can you say hi? There's Fairy Art Mother. Thank you, Judy. Okay. All right, so now we know the timing is good. All right, I just needed someone to say hi to make sure this was live. Sorry for the weird intro and walking down my hallway. Welcome everybody to our Winter Dreams event party. So the 2-day event for Winter Dreams begins this morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I think it's about 7 artists today, 7 artists tomorrow. Get my hat on straight here, my pretty hat that Fairy Art Mother sent me. And God, there's so many beautiful techniques these artists are doing, and the last minute preparations are kind of crazy behind the scenes. Like I said yesterday, everybody's talking about, did you forget your secret word? So the deal is collect the secret words and enter the shopping spree. So what are we going to do today? We only have an hour. So I'm actually going to talk about a little bit about what we're going to do for the next release of the Purely Pigments. Maybe you guys, oh no, my iPad went off again. Maybe we can talk about this. Why I'm worried about this iPad is I actually need to see your responses to me, because we're going to have some contests here. We're going to have some drawings, and I want to give some cool stuff away. So Marjorie's saying hi. Michelle D saying good morning. Thumbs up, like. So is that a live chat? Are we doing this? Okay, all the artwork on your walls. I need to hang my pieces. But this, for some reason, this is not showing the actual live. And if it doesn't show me talking, it's going to time out on the screen, and then I won't see what you're saying. I've already asked Sherry if they could, here we go. Oh, I got it going. If they could possibly help with monitoring what we're doing here. Okay, I got it up. If I see me, that means this thing's not going to time out and take your messages away. Okay, you hear me. All right, so colors we're considering into the next line. I'm going to kind of go right down here. So bear with me. Yellow is at the very top of my color tree. So think of when you're doing your color wheel, you start with your primary. You got yellow, and I'm going to go this direction for red, just because I know it's maybe backwards for you. This direction for blue. So it almost creates this triangle effect. And then in between there, as you're going yellow towards your red, right, it makes your orange. As you're going for your red towards the blue, which is a big swing from here to here, the red to blue. You've got all kinds of things. You've got your purple right here. You've got your red violets. You've got your purple, blue violets all the way around the wheel. The blue runs into the green. Blue runs into that yellow right in here and makes your green and goes all the way around. So what we got on our wheel so far as the Purely Pigments. And why am I talking about the color wheel? Because these are going to be the pure colors that you can use to actually make a paint, alter a paint, modify a paint as you need to. Or if you've washed out all the color, which many of us acrylic pouring artists do, is we're especially thinning down for Dutch pour, real thin techniques. Come on, phone, quit doing this to me. It's starting to starting to move. It's not balanced enough, so it wants to move on me. Technical issues. Okay, stay still. There we go. So in order for me to be able to sit and teach you real color mixing, you got some good basics to begin with. There's nothing wrong. That's why I went made sure you had a basic, a yellow, a blue, a green. We didn't really put an orange in there. We put a coral in there. There were two reds, a warm and a cool red. So yes, purely pigments. I've been working on the next release. I was gonna show them to you this morning, but they weren't named yet. So first things first, and Fairy Art Mother, I know you're really good at names. John, I think you're probably really good at names. So if I wanted to make a warmer yellow, like in the Vivid Intense line, we might call it an Indian yellow. Or in the primary element line, we got a lot of colors that start falling into that yellow orange. What would you name? What would be a good name for a warm yellow? Okay. Now the next two colors are mandatory. We're going to do a phthalo blue red shade and a phthalo blue green shade. Now, why does that matter? The phthalo, boy, these paint companies, we really love these phthalos. Phthalo blue green shade lends itself immediately to give you a beautiful blue that when you start adding just drops of yellow, okay, it's not going to necessarily make it a Kelly green. You're going to start getting to, but Marigold's already used Fairy Art Mother. Remember, that's a primary element color. We need a warm yellow that is not a primary element color. Sunset, does that remind you of, we have a sunflower, Cindy. See now my dilemma? Sunflower is a primary element. We do have a color called Sunset Glow, gold yellow, warm morning, okay. Is the morning yellow? I'm just throwing it out there. We used to have color naming parties. I remember sitting in a round with my employees, and we had this beautiful pink that ended up being cherry blossom, but people were coming up with names like bazooka, like bubblegum. Summer's not a bad name at all. I like the name Summer, even though it makes me think of something sun, something. Now, we used to have a color called Summer Sun that was in the Radiant Pearls line, and that name's not been used. Summer Sun, I'm actually going to write that down because I think reusing, no. Where's my pen? I had a pen here. I've got to write down the names of the winners. We're having a contest here today. A little surprise for you guys. I certainly don't want to do your names in Sharpies, but I think Summer Sun, Solar Yellow. That's not a bad name. Okay, so now we've got, I'm going to write down Solar Yellow, and then the Summer Sun. I'm lending myself to Summer Sun, just kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit better. Okay, now we've got two different blue shades. Now, I started to explain a green shade is what you would use to make your turquoises. You add your interference greens, you add it's still blue, so it's even just one little drop of yellow, which you would think would turn it green. It's not. It's going to keep moving across that wheel as you add it. So a phthalo blue green shade, one drop of yellow is still going to look blue, but it's going to lend itself to more of a green till. Solar Eclipse. That's a cool name. So I like eclipse. How about summer eclipse? Okay. And then the red shade lends itself to, if you add red to it, is going to start going more violet, and they're more compatible. But it's really cool, those, when you mix them together. Okay, question for the crew. When you mix green and red together, what do you get? Real quick answers here for you guys. What happens when you mix, hey Pam Dabney, how you doing, sweetheart? Thank you for that one, Sharon Solar Flare. When you mix green and red, what do you get? Yes. Who said brown? Yes, Jennifer said brown. But what's really interesting, if you're taking a pure phthalo blue red shade and a pure phthalo blue green shade, and when you mix them together, it's an organic way of darkening that blue. And actually, a lot of you may not know this. No, actually, you won't get mud, John. I like brown. Some people really love brown. It's not always mud, but good point. Yeah, some people do call it mud, John. So the original recipe for Payne's Gray is a ultramarine mixed with a burnt sienna. A raw sienna would be too orange, but a burnt sienna. Hi, Penny. How are you doing, honey? Welcome to our party today. So, the original recipe for Payne's Gray was basically a brown and a blue. Okay. The interesting thing now today, we can take phthalo blue red shade, phthalo blue green shade, and immediately make a really deep blue. Then at that point, I actually prefer adding some pure phthalo blue to it, and I've got an even mix of all three. And then it's kind of my choice to tone it. Do I want it more of a purple Payne's? Do I want more of a I don't like to really use black, even though I've read recently there's quite a few companies are now starting to add black to the Paynes. And as many of you know, I don't really prefer to deepen colors with black unless you actually have to, or you're trying to make a really pretty gray. Even gray can be made out of color without having to use black. But the phthalo blue and red, phthalo blue red and phthalo green shade, they're imperative, and I will have to come up with names for those. Then we're going to make what's known as a Mars violet. Now, Mars violet is made from a violet and what they call a red oxide. So think of it as a brick, a really pretty brick, jasper red brick color. And it's the basis for making any kind of brown. I could make you a Van Dyke brown. We could do that. And eventually I could make you a Van Dyke brown. But if I give you a Mars violet, it's a jumping off platform to add more orange, to add more yellow, to add more green. So you can do any variety of brown that you want. You want more of the autumn orange. You might add some yellow or orange to it. You want something that's deeper, more of a taupe, a drop of blue put in there, okay? Now, if you want to just make a straight brown, then mix your yellow, red, and blue together. You could take the azure blue, the mellow yellow, and the quinacridone red, put it together and make a brown. But to make these variations, the Mars is so pretty, okay? Now, I'm going to make a color also which lends itself to sap green, which is a really, really, really popular color for the watercolor artists and the acrylic artists. For years used sap green. And I remember when one company decided they were going to drop it, everybody lost their minds. Now, what's the big deal with the sap green? Well, it was almost like the perfect emerald, right? Yellow and blue with just a little bit of red put in it to where it looked like a real beautiful natural green. And it's not really an olive, but we're going to make this variation. And if you add just like a drop of red to this, and I don't really have a color called sap green. I could get away with calling it sap green so you guys have a reference of what it is. But if you add a little red to it, it's going to go to the olive. If you add a little blue to it, it's going to kind of do the rainforesty thing. If you add a little yellow to it, obviously it's going to be a higher yellow. But none of them are going to turn out to be the perfect Kelly green because the sap has a tiny bit of red in there. I've already made it earthy for you. If you want to make the perfect Kelly green, here's an example. Phthalo blue green shade mixed with yellow will lend itself to making that perfect Kelly green. If you use phthalo blue red shade and the yellow, it'll make more of an earthy green. You may not notice it that much. I would notice it. But after you start color mixing, you'll notice it more and more. Now, I talked to Sherry, and Kathleen this morning, and Sherry was saying, will you mix the colors for us? Do I really have to remember all this stuff? No, not really. I'm happy to mix stuff for you. Ooh, Moroccan olive. So is a Moroccan olive really, because if I say olive, people are going to think this sap green is actually an olive, and it's not. Okay, but my point to Sherry is if we get in the habit, we do color mixing, maybe there's a specific class where you're going to come in and we're just going to do nothing but color mixing, like a drop of this and drop of this equals this. Drop of this, a drop of this equals this. Is that something you guys would be interested in? And without, yeah, but see, Andrea, color theory info, you're right. But as soon as all of us hear the word color theory, thank you, Catherine, thank you, Pam, for saying yes. As soon as we hear color theory, I feel like I'm in a Peanuts cartoon. And I'm watching the teacher's mouth go, but I'm hearing wah, 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 wah. Because the word theory, color theory makes me go, I need to have a color mixing guide. Boy, everybody's saying yes. Okay, everybody's thumbs up, yesing, okay. And the thing with hue and value, that always threw me off. What do they mean by that? Can't they just tell me value means darker, right? Darker. Hue means, is it a blue green or blue violet? What shade of blue is that, right? So I think once we round out our, this is kind of why the push to get these out, besides we want to generate sales, of course, but the push to get this next group out, I'd like to have a nice round group. We can do a lot with 22 colors. I think this next group's going to be a dozen. But once we hit that 36 mark, yeah, it does get confusing, Janelle. Absolutely. When you hear all these technical terms, it doesn't make you feel, some of us don't necessarily feel confident. Or I used to do these events, and we'd get up in the front of the room, me and the other teacher, and we'd say, does everybody understand color theory or understand your colors, or even know what your primary, secondary was? And it's crazy. At least 60% of the room, that we were like doe in the headlights, looking at us like, uh-oh, am I supposed to know something? Was this something I was supposed to learn in first grade and I didn't? And you'd have a half a dozen people with their arms crossed, And by the way, fun fact, you only hear 45% of what's said to you when your arms are crossed. Ha ha ha. So they would have their arms crossed, the all-knowing. There'd be other people saying yes, very open, saying, yes, I do. And then they would come up in little groups going, can you explain this to me? Explain the breakdown. So it's this weird thing that people thought they were supposed to learn in elementary school. Hi there, how you doing, CWV? I know you got the bug, so glad to weren't you sick, Casey? Well, maybe it wasn't you. I talked to somebody else just a couple of days ago that's really sick. It's so good to see you, Miss CWV Artistry, Miss Casey, who loves her yellow. So we are going to add an Indian yellow into the next group, by the way. So couple other colors that I think need to be part of the lineup is we don't really have a bright orange, and we really need a pretty red orange. Now, there's a color called saffron that's in the Prism Pour that Priscilla Batzel is absolutely in love with. And I'm thinking, if we do a really bright red orange, almost like the color of the saffron, and then we do an in-your-face electric pyro orange, that's going to cover. Hi, Sonia. No, you didn't miss much. We're talking about colors right now. That'll kind of fill out the will. And even though I'm going to do those two blues, I'm tempted to give you an ultramarine because they're completely different birds. And then we need a really, really pretty red violet. We've got a blue violet. We've got a middle of the road dioxazine violet, but we need a red violet And Saskia has begged me to make a blue violet similar to the Viola blue in the Vivid Intense. So, you know, any ideas on names of those, you guys want to send me an email. I'm at Leslie Ohnstad, OHNSTAD.ARTE.com. At gmail.com, and send me any kind of ideas that you've got. Well, hopefully, Alistair, I'll be having the videos because the whole point of this is for us to, Vivacious Violet. I love that name, Vivacious Violet. Let me write that one down. Vivacious. Okay. So, yesterday's piece, I got it. And by the way, I'm going to watch all the replays. So as you guys are putting them up, I like the name Blood Orange. That's a beautiful color too. That would make an extraordinary, that might make a nice saffron name. Okay. Anyway, so I got a lot of feedback on yesterday's video, and I'm going to ask you guys here again what you thought of that format, because it's the first time I've tried to raise the camera, put the whole thing overhead, and let you actually see the top down as I was painting. And quite a few people said they liked that format. Other than I had to keep worrying about, my worry was, am I going to make everybody dizzy doing this? Submarine blue. We all live in a yellow submarine. Okay, yesterday's piece. Now I have it sitting on a notebook. Now this morning I was meandering, maybe, thank you, Catherine. I was meandering over the phone with my friends. Maybe I should do a resin layer in between before I do the next coat, because I've seen pieces where they have got their base colors down, the gradiated sunset sky water piece. I guess it's the best way to describe it. But if you look at the skyline, there's usually gas clouds across those skylines over the water. And it's not like big fluffy cumulus clouds or storm clouds. It seems like there's these streams. I don't know if they're gas, air, whatever they are. And the way to lay them back in is to add some white, or I'll get away with using our Vivid Intense Titan Teal and Peach, because it'll automatically lend itself, the peach will lend itself right to that skyline where all these peach colors are. And here's what I'm talking about. So in this area here, I know this is so gonna glare. You can still see all the gold through this. This is which is crazy. But I could take a strip of of tape, and take a palette knife. I wouldn't tape the underneath, just tape the top. Because what I've noticed is there's this perfect line in the sky, and then this color underneath it. So I think I'm gonna send some yellow submarine. So I think adding that in there is going to add more interest. I think it's really interesting how that gold from the prism pour is still coming through, glowing, which was kind of whole point. But as we get to the darker colors, we can see that this aubergine really turned really dark here. And it's making these two really cool flowy lines. See those lines in there that's going from aubergine to the Prussian violet? So I think what I'm going to do, other than there's one hard line here that didn't work yesterday. I was trying to cover this section up, straddled to a blue between this hard line that first layer gave. And it's still a little bit hard here and a little bit hard here. So what I think I'm going to do is actually resin the top coat before I put another layer on, and it'll look more dimensional when I add like the gas clouds back and forth, right? And then I can actually varnish over the top of them. I can do a glaze color that kind of fits with our scheme. And then I want to add in more gold veining so it really looks like the light is shimmering in all these veins. But That's going to be a lot of work, and we're at 12:25 already. Wait a minute. We're at 9:25 already. My tablet is 3 hours ahead. So we really only have 35 minutes to do this. We're going to do a quick pop quiz on stuff that I've covered in the last videos. And I've got a couple people watching, Kathleen McGee, Sherry Ellis. Any of you guys want to be the watchers? I'm going to ask you some questions. The first couple people, here is your homework. The first couple people, first person to answer some of these answers will be able to be done by 2 people. What we're going to do is I'm going to, you'll be given a gift. You can put it in your shipping area in the shipper box, and it'll say, Andy, I am owed, you pick whatever your favorite primary element might be, or it might be a 3-piece, one of the Bling It sets, and I am owed this for the contest per Leslie. Now, what will happen is they're going to call me. So it's not like you can, I don't want 100 people saying, I want a free gift. Please don't put your name on there and put in that you got something for free when you didn't. But you'll be able to put that in there in the shipper note box, and then they will add that to your order. Now, we'll make that good for a few weeks. You know, I'm not going to insist that you place an order today in order to do this, but because you won the gift, and maybe you just placed an order last week, right? So you may not be placing an order this week, but we're going to give you a free goodie in your box for answering these questions. And let's go right down the line. So first question is, okay, you guys ready? Bad day for a keyboard to be down. Yeah, make sure you're all in live chat. There's a difference. There's 2 different types of chat on there, okay? All right, first question. Name the brand, product name, and your favorite color that bends the light. Now, what do you mean, what is a brand name, product name, and color? For example, a brand name might be Vivid Intense. The product name, what if we had more Vivid Intense product? Product name might be Flute Acrylic, and the color would be Viola Blue. So for you guys, which brand, product, and color bends the light? Interference red, Bling It. You got it, Catherine Mefford. Oh, wait a minute. No, what did she? Yeah, you did. It was Bling It, interference red. So she got it right. Now, that's Kathleen Mefford was the first one to guess. Okay, so what you're going to get is a 3-pack of your choice of the we put them in the ColorPlay area now. We have the large interference, large jar of the fine flake. We got a 30 ml jar of sparkle and a 30 ml jar of diamond. What you're going to do is you're going to email me at leslieonstead.arte@gmail.com. Tell me that I'm Kathleen Mefford. I just won the 3-pack. I'm going to give you instructions of what to put into that shipper's box the next thing you do that. And I'm writing your name right down here, that Catherine Mefford. Mefford, did I spell that right? Mefford, M-E-F-F-O-R-D. She got that correct. Okay. Next question. How many colors of interference do we offer? Hey, ColourArte Mama. Hi, Luna. 5. So, Michelle, you are correct. Who's Michelle D? Michelle D. Michelle D got this correct. There are blue, green, gold, violet, red. Okay. And D, you're going to have to email me. Please email me, because I'm not sure what the D stands for. So I'm not sure if you purchased from me before. Please, Michelle D, contact me at leslieonstead.arte@gmail.com. Okay. Yeah, Casey's getting technical here. Now, one other thing, if you've already won something, give everybody a chance. I'd like to spread the wealth, okay? So, so Michelle D, you've guessed at the 5. So let me ask you the next question. How many particulate sizes are there? That's the next question. How many particulate sizes? Marjorie Barnes gets it first. If I'm correct, people correct me, but it looks like Marjorie Barnes was the first one to put up 3. So I've got, even though my scribbling here, I've got Marjorie's name here. Marjorie Barnes put up the 3. Okay, there's a dozen here, guys, so it's not like this is all gonna go. Lobster Lady, I'm gonna correct you. There are not 2 sizes, there's 3 sizes, and why that answer is correct is you've got your Bling It Interference Fine Flake, the one that gives you the stronger shift. We've got the Interference Sparkle medium-sized flake, and we've got the Interference Diamond large flake. They are all a Bling It product, okay? Yeah, you kind of did, but that's okay. All right, here's a harder question because we're going to get out of the interferences. Now, Kathleen Mefford, Michelle D, Marjorie Barnes, you're all going to get a 3-pack of your favorite interference group, okay? That's that 3-pack with the 60 ml jar of the fine and the 2 30 ml jars of the sparkle and the diamond. All right, next question. In yesterday's video, I used a really beautiful deep blue violet color. What is the brand name of the product and what is the color name? In yesterday's video, I used this deep blue violet. And what brand of product was it? And what was the color name? Dee Lee looks like she did it right. Prussian Violet Primary Elements. So D, okay, you're going to get a 30 ml jar of a primary element of your choice, okay? Prussian Violet. And the winner of this one is D-L-E-I-G-H. There's more. I promise you there's more questions. I got all kinds of pop quizzes for you guys. Okay. Here's one I'm waiting to hear an answer for. Drum roll. What is a primary element? Can someone explain to me what is a primary element? Nope, it's not mica. There's minerals in it. Dry paint is the correct category. That is correct, Sharon McCabe. Did you win something yet, Miss Sharon? No, you did not. It is a dry paint. Now, why do we call it a dry paint? Because, Michelle, we've taken dry color, broken it down further, and mixed it with minerals in mica. Now, fun fact, when they get color out of the mines, it's dry. When you buy color to break it down, when Golden buys color to break it down further, it's in a dry form. It's not in a liquid, right? It has to be suspended by the color manufacturer to put it in a liquid. So John N was correct. A lot of you guys were correct, but McCabe, I've got to write that down. Sharon McCabe was the first one to guess that it is a dry paint system. She's fast on the draw here. So you're going to, the 30 ml jar of your choice of primary elements, make sure you email me, lesleyonstead.arte@gmail.com. Okay, next one. Now in the one of the first launch video of this new live series, it was like the first or second video, okay? I showed you how to make a clear paint base. Make your own clear paint base. What two materials did I use? What did I do to make that clear paint base? And then I ended up using that mixture in my swipes. Close. Michelle has just guessed gel medium and varnish. Okay. Nope, not varnish and art fluid. Close, Catherine. Gloss gel medium and enamel. She's probably the closest, but Catherine, you've already won something. Here you go, Janelle. Vivid enamel and gel medium. Now, Catherine technically got gloss gel medium, but here's the little caveat, everybody. It was heavy gel medium. You want not regular gloss medium because that's too soupy. You want the heavy gel medium mixed with your vivid enamel. And I think it was, Michelle's already won something. She guessed with the varnish art fluid. Janelle looks like she was the closest. Other than Janelle, it should have said heavy gel. So Janelle, you're going to have to message me because I don't have your last name here on the feed. This is a pop quiz, so everybody remembers this stuff. Janelle on here, please email me at leslieonstead.arte@gmail.com. I know you have. Okay. In yesterday's video, I mentioned a color called Madagascar Ruby. What color is it? Madagascar Ruby. What color is Madagascar Ruby? It is not pink, Audra. You might have missed yesterday's video. My apologies if you did. It is not a magenta, Princess Scary. Sharon McCabe, you are correct. It is an orange, but you've already won something, and it looks like Pam Dabney came right behind you with the name Orange. So Pam Dabney. Make sure you email me, okay? Okay, now there's going to be two winners on this one. And by the way, the answer is orange. It was a bright, bright, bright orange. If you go look it up, a Madagascar Ruby is not red. It is a deep burnt orange. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. That's okay, Sandy. This is kind of fun, and we're learning. This is a pop quiz, right? So we're learning about the products, what a primary element is. Okay, so when I was mixing the Madagascar Ruby, this is going to be a little tricky for you guys. Yes, I can see your chats. You're not being overlooked. I see Princess Jasmina, Mommy Pamela. I see your chats. You are not overlooked. I'm just pointing out who said it first. Okay. And if we have to go back and look at the feed, okay, because we can see, wait a minute, Princess Jasmine did. Let me see. I'm scrolling up. Purely Pigment Angel Sonia. What's that? No, that wasn't what we were using to make our paint. Let me see what else you pointed in here. I just don't want you being overlooked, sweetheart. Okay, so here's a key question, and hopefully you remember it. And I actually pointed it out on the camera. When I pulled the Madagascar Ruby up into the camera and I was turning it, I mentioned there was two colors that were sparkling. Okay, if you only remember one, that's fine, because there's going to be two winners on this one. What were the two sparkling colors that was in the Madagascar Ruby? Well, the color, so here's another way, and it's the reason why I'm doing this is when you're looking up our product on the website, you're going to see the name, and then the first part of the description says the color base. So Madagascar Ruby may say a brilliant, bright orange in a shimmer. Okay. And let's see what we've got here. Looks like John is right on one of them. One of the colors was violet. And so John, you guessed the violet. There were two colors sparkling in the Madagascar Ruby. There was a violet and what else? What was the other shimmer? Come on, Jasmina, you should know this. Princess Scary, you got one of them right. It wasn't violet gold. It was actually red and violet. Okay, so Princess Scary, we're going to have you, Princess Scary. I don't know your real name. You're going to have to reference yourself. So make sure you email leslieonstead.arte. And yes, Penny, it was red. The other color was red, but it looks like Scary. She kind of slammed it in there first. But it was red and violet sparkle. Now, so far, Dee Lee's won, Michelle D's won, Kathleen Mefford's won, McCabe, Janelle, Pam Dabney, John, and Princess Scary. This is wheeling it down. Okay. So in one of the videos, here's the next question. In one of the videos, there was a red. I think it might have been in the epoxy, and I forget, it might have been in the epoxy one on that Tuesday. Okay, so I taught you about how to deepen a red without adding black. And I ended up turning it into kind of a wine color. What was the color that I used to deepen the holly berry red? It was the holly berry red. It was a vivid, intense color to give you guys a little tip. What did I do to deepen that red, to turn it into a wine? You're right. Jennifer B. was the first one to say red. I'll make sure her name's on here too. Did she already win something though? Nope. That's okay. I can do 3 on this one. I don't mind. That way everybody gets something. So Princess Scary, John, and Jennifer B. Thank you, Casey. That's why we have hot guys in here to watch this feed. Okay. So what did I do? I did not add green to the red to turn it into a wine. I did not add, no one said you can't answer, Casey. I mean, now to deepen a red, I'm not going to add more red, Penny. And to deepen a red, if I add a yellow, it's going to make it more orange, right? If I take a red and I add a gold or a yellow, the red is going to turn orange if I add a yellow. If I add a blue to a red, it's going to make it wine. I mean, it's going to make it purple. But there is a type of blue. There you go. Now, Casey answered it. She was dying to say this to everybody. Indeed, she is correct. And that's why the phthalo blue red shade needs to be into this next release. I took the Vivid Intense and it had some red. It wasn't actually a resin, but you can do it with acrylic. And I took the red and just 1 drop of Vivid Intense and darkened. A Vivid Intense phthalo blue red shade. The red shade means it's kind of compatible with the red. It's going to deepen it and not alter it. Had I put a green shade in the red, it kind of would have made a more dirty, bricky wine color, right? So the phthalo blue red shade, I know, Casey. Just tell me something to the cart that you'd like to do, but I think it's important that people know how to deepen a color without automatically going to black. I mean, black has its place, okay? So this is Casey. Okay, so if I want to warm a color up, now I've deepened a color by adding the phthalo blue red shade. What if I want to warm a color up? What do I add? Thank you, Dr. Lee. Oh my God, thank you. Okay, so if I have a red and I want to warm it up, where do I go? What do I add to warm it up? What makes it warmer? Actually, and at Cindy, a lot of people would think that white is considered a tint and it takes that shade and makes it a lighter value. But when you want to warm something, it like red feels like a warm color, right? Orange feels like a warm color. Uh, and a cool color usually goes into the Penny, you are correct. You add yellow. Penny is correct. Penny, penny, penny. Okay, so what are we gonna do to warm it up, Penny? You get to pick a 1 ounce bottle of Vivid Intense of your choice of color and add it to your cart. Make sure you email me, leslieonstead.arte@gmail.com. Opposite wheel of the cart. Okay. All right, you guys are gonna have to get your fingers going fast on this one. What's the name of my black cat? What is the name of my black cat? Well, since Catherine already won something, John, you already won something, and Audra, that is the name of the other baby who's not black, but it looks like Alice Barr is the first person to say the name Jasmine. So, Alice Barr. Make sure you email me at leslieonstead.art@gmail.com. Okay. And Judy, you are not allowed to answer this one. Okay. You are not allowed to answer this one. Which product line was originally created for epoxy? Sandy Sanders looks like she's the first one to answer it that hasn't already won something. So John was the first one to say resin art. Catherine Medford said resin art. Sandy Sanders said resin art. Cindy, it does go into resin. You are correct. That in 2018, we made a line called resin art, and it was similar to the primary element line. It was ground color and the beautiful minerals mixed together. Now in the resin art, we added a wetting agent and we mix it up with this coating. So when you drop it in to the epoxy, it melts like butter, okay? Just like butter. So let's see. Now I would give you resin art if you want that. Who won that? Who did I say won that? Let me look at the resin art answers here one more time. I've got all the Jasmine answers here. So Sandy, do you work with epoxy? Kind of give us a thumbs down or a thumbs down. Sandy Sanders, do you work with epoxy? Because if you do, then you'll get a free 60 ml jar of, yes, you're right. Okay, so Sandy, you get a free 60 ml jar of resin art. Okay, make sure you email me for the instructions on how to do it. And John's right, it melts like butter, just butter. Okay. Let's see. So next question. Can you make a cell activator using purely pigments? Did I do any kind of customization of cell activator? That's a yes. Okay. Oh, Cindy, the secret words in the video. We're stopping in 10 minutes. You've got a little time, a break. This is actually just a pre-party, Cindy. She's asking, good question. But no, the actual Winter Dreams event starts at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in an hour and 10 minutes. We're going to get off in a quick 10 minutes, gives everybody a chance to, yeah, because this is live. The next video is called the Premiere Live. It's pre-recorded. It's already up on my channel. You can go into the notifications and get it in there. And then the event will start with a 2-minute countdown and then 11 a.m. And the videos will continue on from there. It jumps from channel to channel. Fantastic event. So that's yes. What was the question that I asked you? Yes, cell activator. Who said, I should have asked you what color cell activators I did, but I don't think anybody can remember all the colors of cell activators that I put in there. So first person, now Sandy, you've already won something. Alice Barr, you've already won something. Andrea Shirley, you haven't won something. So I might be wrong. You guys can correct me, but it looks like Andrea is the first person to say yes that hadn't already won something. So Andrea Shirley, you're gonna get a purely pigment bottle. They're up in individuals now on the ColorPlay deals page, and actually on the purely pigment page, you now can order not the metallics, but you can get the pure colors individually up there. You're going to get a purely pigment of your choice to add to your cart. Email me for your instructions, and I'm trying to think if I can come up with a couple more questions. So for people, this was fun. The whole idea was to kind of do a pop quiz on what we've covered. And yes, the playlists are found in the description boxes. I actually need to get that up on my channel. Thank you for reminding me. I need to put my forward now that the links are up. See, I still have a little homework to do. I got to get my forward redirect on my video. So when you guys are done watching me, it'll automatically pop over to the next person. So who's suggesting blue? Valerie Lynn? Yeah, I don't have the redirect. The redirect posted. Yeah. So on the website, ColorArte.com, there is a link to the Winter Dreams event. It's got the form there for you to fill out your guess at the secret phrase. And you have 2 weeks to watch it. So it's not this coming Friday, but the following Friday, you have to do that. Now, the color, what you want to do, the new Facebook page is called The Art of Color, ARTEOF Color, Pam. ColorPlay page on Facebook, I created a long time ago with the idea of doing something similar like this on Facebook when they were introducing something, but they were introducing a new software called B2 Live where people could co-host together, but that never got set up. So the ColorPlay Live page is just there, but the Art of Color, ARTE of Color, is the new Facebook page that we've created. Yes, ma'am, that we've created. Thank you. Thank you for promoting the Purely Pigments, and I'm really looking forward. Yes, and everybody, we need to thank Fairy Artmother for sending me this cool hat. I think I'm going to start a hat collection. But she was a sweetheart and said that for someone who plays with so much color, I need to have a colorful hat. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to make this quick and sweet. We got a lot of goodies to go out to everybody. Make sure that everybody gets a hold of me. I've kept all my notes here. And I really appreciate you guys coming on and hanging with me. I know it's a big deal to say, hey, let's do a live before we actually do our premier live event. But I'm not going to cancel this just because we got an event. Apparently, I don't qualify for this group either. You're still pending. Oh, we can get you approved immediately. Between Miss McGee, Sherry Ellis, they can get you in, guys. Thank you, Janelle. Thank you, John. Kathleen Mefford, it was a pleasure to see you. Casey, so glad you could come by and join us. Oh my God, Amy Johnson, you're coming out at the end and we're saying our goodbyes. So glad to see you in here. I hope you're feeling better, honey. Yeah, I'm going to see you guys in an hour. It'll be Premier Live, so you're going to see my video that we put together. And as usual, I am grateful to have you here. My name is Leslie Ohnstad. I'm the creator of ColourArte products and your host 3 days a week on ColorPlay Live, and they're turning into ColorPlay Live classes. And I think what we need to do is really keep working on the color. Thank you, Dee. I really appreciate that. My job is, trying to help me and you. I'm learning as much from you guys as everybody else. And our next live will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there. Hugs and kisses.